know, I don't know if you've read this by Van Jones, Reclaiming Revolution, Storm. Oh, it's such a fascinating read. Wait until I show you what Van Jones said about September 11th and who is to blame on that. You're going to love it. Hello, America. Glad you're here. I want you to do me a favor today. I want you to truly imagine two different worlds. I want you to pick one. First, imagine a world where a man's word is actually his bond, where people say what they mean and mean what they say. And if that bond is broken, if a man doesn't keep his word, there's shame associated with it. Imagine a world where you can make a business deal where everything is riding on that word. A deal is finalized with a handshake. It's not finalized with something like this. This doesn't matter because I have his word. Imagine a world where neighbors line up to help each other when they learn that somebody nearby is out of work, somebody nearby is in trouble, somebody can't keep up with their bills, but they're still doing everything they can, and they're working their brains out. And that person, when you go and you bring a bag full of groceries, they look down and say, I can't take that. I'll make it on my own. And you insist, no. And if they won't take it, you come back with your family at night and you just deliver the groceries when they're not there. Imagine that world. Imagine when a town is in a crisis. Everyday citizens trust in each other. They band together and figure out a solution for themselves. Imagine a time when people would see the federal government coming and they would say, go away, we don't need you. Imagine a spirit of independence, self-sufficiency, personal and fiscal responsibility, honor, conservation, thrift, God. Imagine a time when those values were held most dear and people meant it. Now there's the first one. Now I want you to imagine a world where people just look out for themselves. They just think of themselves first. When somebody has fallen, the government steps in and picks them up. And the first instinct with everybody standing around isn't to help each other. You walk over the person in the street. You walk over and then you say to your friend, you say, well, how come the government isn't there? Why isn't the government agency? Why didn't they prevent that fall in the first place? And then after you cuss out the government for not preventing that person from being in that situation, you do nothing but look to that same government to fix the situation. Imagine that world where there was no trust or love for either of the major political parties because they both lie. Imagine the world where the political parties don't ever actually deal with any problems. They just point fingers at each other, and when that's done, they start pointing the fingers at you. They start calling you names so they can accumulate power at your expense. Imagine a time when someone would look you right straight in the eye and lie to you. Not a small lie. They would look you right straight in the eye and say, you listen to me. This is the truth. And that guy over there, he's lying to you. This is the truth. Can you imagine a time when you could get away with that? And people wouldn't really care. Imagine a time when the message coming out of Washington was crystal clear. Self-interest. A time of power. A time of greed and entitlements. Those were the values that were practiced most. Which one do you think we're in? You don't have to imagine. And which one do you want? America's history has been both of those. It's a mix of both of those worlds. We have made such colossal mistakes in the past, but we tried to be better people. We had shame. There was shame. Senator, is there no shame? Now we're more like the second than the first. There's no trust. It's not the first time it's happened. But now, once again, we are walking down dangerous times. I've never seen it really where people could just out and out lie, but I didn't live through the FDR or Wilson administration. I certainly didn't live through Reconstruction. I mean, Reconstruction, what a colossal disappointment that was after so much blood was lost after the Civil War, and we released people from bondage. Those political players in the South that just wanted to make people a slave in a different way, attached a different chain, trapped people by lies, deceit, and corruption. African Americans were trapped and had hope that the 1960s would change things with Martin Luther King. And they did. Martin Luther King did change things. He didn't fix it. We'll never be fixed. Name the perfect person. We look for a perfect president. When are you going to elect a perfect president? There are no perfect people. And so we force them to pretend they're perfect. They're not. They all have warts. We all have mistakes. We all have things that we've done in our life that we're ashamed of. But the key there was we used to be ashamed of things. We're going in a horrible direction. And the reason we're going in this direction is because the content of character doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're considered a fool. You're an idiot. You get what you deserve if you don't have a 1,000-page contract with someone. You know, I didn't take this job at first. And I remember Roger Ailes calling me to his office, and he looked at me and he said, "What the hell is wrong with you? I know we're offering you more money. I know we're offering you better success. I know we're offering you a great place to work. What the hell is wrong with you?" And I said, "It's never been about money. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and talk to you. I need to be able to look a man in the eye. And I need to know that he understands my business and I understand his. And that we're not going to hurt each other. And if we start hurting each other, it doesn't matter what the paper says. I need to look a man in the eye and shake hands on it." He looked at me for probably 30 seconds. It was probably a very uncomfortable time for everybody in the room. And he just looked me in the eye. He leaned in and he shook my hands. He said, "Sir, you will never need a contract with me." And I said, "Nor with me, sir. It doesn't matter what the paper says. It matters what we promised each other. That's the way business used to be done, and that is the way business needs to be done. You look a man in the eye, but you're a fool if you don't get anything that somebody said in writing now. Shame on you for not getting that in writing in a signature. Not shame on the guy who screwed you over. And now the written word isn't even enough. The written word isn't even enough. From the highest office in the land, the president said he would not federally fund abortions in the health care bill. Here he is.
There are some folks out there who are, frankly, bearing false witness, but I want everyone to know what health insurance reform is all about. You've heard